Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Kind of. It's Johnny Depp adjacent news.
Right, there you go.
Johnny Depp adjacent.
We cover more like how the media reacts and the shit they pull, and that's what we're going to talk about in regards to this trial.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about actually a fellow YouTuber, that umbrella guy, who got targeted by Taylor Lorenz. And if you know her or know the name, she's the one who doxed the libs of TikTok content creator. And yeah, she's all about this. She's all about...
Yeah, she says doxing is wrong unless she's the one doing it.
Yeah, she's got a book coming out that she's basically slamming influencer culture, and she's against influencers.
Why would she do this? Because she herself, working for the Washington Post, should be the only influencer you need.
The Washington Post, which was at the center of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard
right, and
trial.
We're going to talk about that in a minute, but I'm just saying, wouldn't it make more sense that she's out there trying to cause this drama? She's writing a book where she's going to blast people that on YouTube and stuff, people listening to them, because they're salty that they're not listening to her.
Yes, and this is a continuation, I guess, of the video we did yesterday that the media can't stand it. They cannot stand that the narrative didn't stick. They had a narrative in mind, which was, Johnny Depp absolutely positively was guilty. Amber Heard, she might not be perfect, but she was the victim, and they lost control of it, and they blamed social media. The thing is that the general public made that decision based on the trial being live streamed, not necessarily on Umbrella Guy's channel, like he comments on it or whatever, but everybody watched this trial. Everybody formed an opinion. YouTubers didn't poison the well. Amber Heard poisoned the well.
I know a lot of people who do not follow the YouTuber stuff at all, and they are not all Republican. They are like Democrat, independent, libertarian, and they're across the board. Imagine that. You can be friends with people that don't vote the same as you. I know, right? And they didn't even watch his videos, and they still came to the same conclusion simply based on watching the evidence of the trial. He influenced them in no way, shape, or form.
Yeah, so let's talk about this, because this is, again, like we said yesterday, I think if nothing else, the Johnny Depp situation is going to rip the mask off of the mainstream media, and people are going to see that this is what they do. This is what they've been doing for years. You just weren't really paying attention because it didn't affect you personally, or it was something you weren't interested in. But now that everybody has seen the Johnny Depp trial, it's become such a high-profile case, now you can see that these news outlets have been doing shit like this for at least the last 5 or 6 years.
I think it's been longer, but yeah, they've doubled down recently, the last several years.
So let's talk about it before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 269,000 subs. I guess that's where we're at. Thank you for the support. We do talk about pop culture. We talk about the media, because the media has had this war basically against pop culture. It seems like every time fans get upset about something, the media wants to cash in on the outrage. They're like, oh, fans are awful, fans are racist, fans are horrible people. And this situation, that Umbrella Guy, we've known him for about 4 years now. We've actually gone on his live stream a couple of times. And, we've never had a problem with him.
You've talked to him back channel.
I've talked to him a couple times. Yeah, he's gotten a lot of shit from Amber Heard stands.
And they went after his kids.
They went after his kids. They went after his other family members. Apparently somebody at one point in time showed up and like trashed his mailbox or something. Like they found out where he lived. He's been through a lot of real world shit because of his YouTube presence and because he calls a lot of this stuff out. Now, in the case of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, he has been following this case very closely since the beginning. I mean, he's been covering it for like years now.
This person's trying to spin it that him and this other person they're mentioning just only started covering it to cash in on it. No, I think they're confusing them with themselves. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But they've been covering this for a long time. I know we were covering it like when it first happened. Like we were in trouble for putting the finger picture up.
Oh my God, yeah.
And other people have been too. It's been an ongoing thing people have been covering as more and more came out. It wasn't like they just started covering it to cash in now. That wasn't what happened at all.
No. Now, did channels make bank when the trial was going on and there were all the memes? And in case of Tug, he was live streaming it, reacting to it in real time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he made some pretty good money in the last month or two. This is kind of the thing he's been waiting for. But I don't think it was planned like, okay, I'm gonna cover the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation for the next 2 years. So in 2 years' time, when this goes to trial, I can make bank. That was not the intention.
And the argument these media outlets are trying to make is people like that umbrella guy were the reason why that Johnny Depp was won the case. I'm no offense to that umbrella guy. I think he'd agree with me. If his one channel is why, then there's some bigger issues going on here.
And the thing is that when they call attention to YouTubers like this, and this happened with us, with the Kevin Smith situation, when they attack you, the mainstream media attacks you, people come check your channel out and they subscribe.
Yeah, they're just
because they agree with you.
They're just making him bigger.
Yeah, and they, Tug blew up during this trial because I guess they name checked him during the trial, and the media outlets have been dunking on him. And it's not just him; other YouTubers as well. But apparently, they got caught lying. She got caught lying.
Yes.
She's going to get sued. I mean, between this and the libs of TikTok, she's going to get her ass sued.
At the end of the day, what she's pissed about is apparently that that umbrella guy and who was the other one? There was two content
Legal
creators.
Bites.
Legal Bites, the one person from Legal Bites. They're mad because they made money on the news. You mean like the Washington Post does every damn day? You mean like all the newspapers and the TV networks and that report the news? How they get paid and how they make their money and how they pay their people by, reporting the news and making money when people watch it. You mean like that?
That's so stupid. Like
that's literally what they do.
They beg for donations. They beg for subscriptions. They throw countless ads up on their websites. It's all about making money, getting clicks. And they're just basically, this goes back to Gamergate and Comicsgate and all the other gates, Gate. They're angry that YouTubers are eating their lunch. That's all this is. YouTubers are eating their lunch and they're mad.
And a girl that's writing a book about how the creators on the internet, the rise of influencers and the creation of the new American dream, she's pissed about people doing this. She even says that she's mad because she puts up the estimates. We'll get to that in a minute. She puts up her estimates about how much money they made on this trial. Well, how much money did the Washington Post make?
Oh,
I would love to know.
How much?
Why aren't you posting that?
I think Johnny Depp's gonna. I heard that he was thinking about suing them or something. I don't know what's gonna happen, but yeah, they might have to make as much as they can, because if they start getting sued by people because of this bullshit, So initially published on June 2nd. So I missed all of this.
Yeah, we missed it.
Who won the Depp Heard trial? Content creators that went all in saw Lorenz offer her thoughts on how the trial offered a potential glimpse into the future of media, where content creators serve as the personalities breaking news into an increasing number of viewers and in turn define the online narrative around major events.
So, wait, basically what the Washington Post and what this person in particular do all the damn time? You mean, so basically you're mad because other people are going to go define the narrative, and that's a problem. You guys do that every damn day.
You're mad it was them and not you.
Exactly.
And that's the same with the anti-Gamergate game journos and stuff like that. Like, they're not getting paid a whole lot of money. They're seeing YouTubers make shit tons of money personally, and they're angry. They're just furious. And then some of them get laid off because the company's not bringing enough money in. It's very easy for YouTubers who have a decent audience to make more than enough to live on, to do it full time if, they're working out of their bedroom or something. These companies that these people work for, they got these posh offices and everybody's getting paid 6-figure salaries and lots of overhead, right? Lots of overhead. They bring in personal profit in the process. How dare they?
Wait, they were trying to profit off the news and tell people what to think. You
Yeah.
mean like the Washington Post?
Now, this is interesting. I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. You can't go by Social Blade when it comes to money on YouTube. Now, I don't know what Tug made. I don't care what Tug made. Tug can make $1 million a month. Good for Tug. Good for his family, right? I mean, that's between him and, YouTube and whatever. But people make the mistake of counting other people's money using Social Blade. All Social Blade does is take your views and estimate what your ad rates approximately are, and then give a rough estimate of the revenue earned. A lot of times Social Blade is way off. A lot of times Social Blade is way, way off because there are a number of factors here. People look at like the quartering or something like that. I'm like, well, the quartering, a lot of his videos are demonetized. So he might get a lot of views, but I think the reason the guy has has all these sponsors. Again, I don't know his personal situation. I don't even know him. I've never talked to him. But if I had to guess, knowing that he doesn't have ads in all his videos, the reason he does all the sponsorships is to make up that lost revenue.
So it doesn't take into consideration sponsorships, demonetization. If you're doing a live stream, it's funded
Super
differently.
chats and stuff,
Yes, then so it really can't actually tell you. It gives you an idea if it was all things equal, but it doesn't actually accurate.
Yeah. So this is kind of like, so let me get straight. You don't understand how YouTube money works, Lorenz, but you're going to write a book on influencer culture and the money behind it. But all you did was go out to Social Blade, which any YouTuber can tell you is an inaccurate representation of the amount of money.
It wasn't just that. Went to Social Blade and actually gave up a number that was even above the estimate Social Blade gave. Apparently, according to Tug, it was within a range that 71,000 was the high end, and she rounded it up to 80.
So just to make it look like, and again, I don't know what he made. I mean, people make that on smaller channels just in super chats. I mean, it depends on your audience too. Like Ethan Van Sciver, he gets 1,000, 2,000 people watching him, but he does make a lot of money in super chats. It depends on your audience. A lot of gaming YouTubers make way more than Social Blade is going to estimate because they've got memberships and stuff like that. But then again, like I said, the flip side is some content can't be monetized. And I know YouTube was cracking down on Amber Heard, Johnny Depp content. And in our case, we'd upload those videos. We'd get a lot of views, but they'd be demonetized.
Yeah.
So but this is like YouTube 101. The fact that she's going to do a hit piece on YouTubers and pontificate about the amounts of money she thinks they make based on Social Blade, when any YouTuber who does this and makes any money can tell you that's inaccurate, just shows what a dumbass she actually is.
Well, to be fair, where is the numbers for the Washington Post and how much money they made last month on Amber Heard, Johnny Depp news?
Yeah, right. We have to. See
apples to apples here.
You have to make all your financials transparent. This is what drives people nuts too about crowdfunders. They look at crowdfunders and they're like, "Oh my God, $100,000. That's all $100,000 in that creator's pocket." I'm like, no. If it's a comic, you got to pay printing. You got to pay shipping.
Sometimes you have to pay the artist.
Sometimes you have to pay the artist. You got all these. You might only walk away from $100,000 crowdfunder with $10,000 in your pocket.
Depending, yeah.
Depending. I mean, it just depends on your circumstance. So, I mean, this just shows that she has no fundamental understanding of how any of this shit actually works. $80,000. And he might have. I don't know. Who knows? Though her piece lacked any quotes or insight on their success from the creators themselves, the infamous Washington Post staff writer assured readers that Mazaka, Legal Bites person, and That Umbrella Guy did not respond to requests for comments. However, Lauren's piece was soon met with massive pushback from both Legal Bites and That Umbrella Guy, both of whom asserted that they had never received any form of contact from Lorenz prior to the story's publication. This says I didn't respond to requests for comments. I know I've gotten a lot of emails over the past 2 months, but I've just double-checked for your name, Taylor Lorenz, and I see no email from you. Also, I didn't suddenly pivot. I started covering this before the trial began.
As did Tug. I can tell you with 100% certainty, and us and other people too.
This wasn't a lot of these. Now, there are some channels I know that started chasing the chuck wagon, but a lot of the ones who went all in on covering it were people that have been following it for years.
And have been covering it for quite a while.
Years.
Tug is one of them.
Likewise, Tug tweeted, "Looks like That Umbrella Guy made the Washington Post because dedicated pro-Depp content. Nice how they speculate at what I made 1 month, by the way, but omits years of coverage before asking to see proof that Washington Post reached out to me because I got no email or Twitter DMs. Soon after these public call-outs, both creators would report they had finally and truly been contacted. Update. I have now been, for the first time, reached out for comment after the piece was already published, and I had to call it out. This is so dumb."
You're right. It is dumb.
This is the Washington Post that published the hit piece on Johnny Depp, written by Amber Heard, that was found to be defamatory. Would you expect anything less?
I guess not. I guess they've learned nothing.
I would sue them.
I was just thinking, they could, because it's defamation. They're saying that they did stuff and said stuff that, or that what their motivation was untrue.
Yeah.
But I'm just so effing tired of this. This is everything we're talking about. And, but here they're attacking specific people for it.
Yep. Separately, though, near simultaneously, that umbrella guy shared an email he received from Lorenz and revealed the Washington Post lied and did not contact me before including me in their story on Johnny Depp, despite reporting that they did. I noted this on Twitter today at 8:31. At 9:44, they'd said, contact me after I noted this. I think she got called out by her boss. I think her boss is like, we're already in trouble, and you're out there saying shit about these people.
Well, this is the same person that says doxing is wrong unless she's the one doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, she doxed this Twitter user. So this is some bullshit. Washington Post heavily misrepresented what Adam Waldman said too, and it's hilarious considering this is Tug. I can't say it in his voice. He's got the sub.
Oh no, I talk way too fast to be Tug.
I know. I feel bad. Like we were on live stream with him one time, and I'm like, do I need to? I just feel like I'm talking too fast compared to everybody else.
I mean, I do talk too fast compared to most people. So I mean. I already know I'm most likely going to be talking faster than everybody else.
Okay, you're doing better though because
I'm trying. I have a note.
There
Talk
is.
slower, unless I get mad.
Here,
and then there's unless I get mad, and then there's no way that's happening. And I'm trying very hard not to be mad, but I'm trying to stay calm to the place I've got myself in hives right now.
I listened to some of our older videos and we talked very quickly, and I'll tell you why. Because we were at that point in time recording out of the corner of our bedroom and the traffic was horrible.
And you'd hear, you're trying to get everything in you could before a truck came by.
Yeah, so you'd hear like a truck in the distance because we were on a hill, so the jack brakes. And so we would have to hurry up and speak as fast as we could before the truck came. So yeah, it was horrible. And editing those videos was a freaking nightmare. Anyway. So the Washington Post heavily misrepresented what Adam Waldman said too, and it's hilarious considering how they characterized the reporting versus others reporting on cases that didn't sell out to corporate brands. They also flagrantly misrepresented my earnings. Social Blade says I made between 4.9 and
79.1.
79.1. They added to the highest estimate of reporting for dramatic effect. Again, as a YouTuber, I will tell you, the numbers on Social Blade are not accurate.
No.
The only thing that's accurate is the number of views your videos get. They don't take into consideration, are your videos longer? Do they have more ad breaks? They don't take into consideration the vertical that your channel is in. You might not be eligible for some of the highest paying ads. They just ballpark it based on the average, and it is 9 times out of 10 way off.
Yes.
Usually it's way overestimated.
But again, as somebody who would be writing this book should have known.
Somebody who's writing a book on this shit should know how this works, and she clearly has no idea how this works. Following the call-outs, the Washington Post removed Lauren's initial claim about having reached out to the 2 content creators.
But I'm sure there's screenshots of it everywhere.
Yep, and replaced them on June 3rd with 2 new clarifications, one noting that they declined to comment for the story and another that Tug could not be reached for comment. However, in making these edits, the outlet failed to disclose they had done so.
I mean, a lot of other news outlets are calling them out. I've seen other places calling them out on it about why they didn't do that and then trying to change it to try to cover their ass. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, you guys know that people take screenshots of this. There's screenshots of this all over the place. So no matter how much you change it, there's still the original out there. Plus, it's going to show that there's edits made to the document.
So remember yesterday we called the video Depp-gate. Maybe we should call it Johnny-gate. But it's definitely happening. I mean, this is almost identical to what has happened with every other major us versus them situation with the media. Mm-hmm. Except it's on a much, much bigger scale. And people are going to get sued, and publications are going to go out of business because they don't know when to fucking quit. And
they keep hiring these people like this woman who just goes off half-cocked and then making up stuff. And then, what amuses me the most about the whole thing is what she's pissed about is that, they made money covering the news. People are listening to them and not us. And I'm like, a couple things here. That's no different than the Washington Post making money covering the news. And also this whole idea, they're just pissed because people are listening to somebody else's, interpretation, because they can watch the evidence at live stream and they're responding to the evidence. So they can see they're not lying. Where if you get it through the media where it's been filtered through their, their perspective, they will skew the shit out of it. Like, don't you know that if you think Johnny Depp's, was right to win, that you are duped, that you are a misogynist, that you are Nazi adjacent, that somehow that has something to do with Roe versus Wade and everything else because they said so.
Yeah, I mean, most of the articles, if you look for, TikTok's Amber Heard hate machine, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard trial and our warped views of celebrity, Yeah, this is ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. But yeah, they lied. It wasn't until
they never asked them for their opinion. They did not just start covering it now. They were covering it before then.
So they had to do multiple, and again, this happened over the weekend, so it could have been the weekend editor if they even have an editor, but this happened multiple times. They had to do multiple retractions and corrections, which is embarrassing as hell, especially for a publication that was at the center of this lawsuit.
Right, and they should have clarified when they put the correction in that they didn't, they never reached out for them to begin with, and they changed it. But again, people can see that you did.
Yeah, so after the last editor's note, Taylor Lorenz, again, who doxed a Twitter user she didn't like, put up a lengthy reply. Last Thursday, an incorrect line was added to a story of mine before publishing date due to a miscommunication.
Bullshit, Taylor.
Fuck no.
Bullshit, Taylor.
You're a doxing piece of shit.
You bullshit. If that was, and then you would have had in the article that I never spoke to them. You didn't have that written in there.
I did not write the line. Was not aware it was inserted. I've asked for it to be removed right after the story went live. Apparently, she's gone private on her Twitter.
You know what? Bullshit. Okay, as somebody who was an editor, do you buy that at all?
No, I don't. If it's a weekend editor, especially, they're not gonna. I personally don't think they would insert shit like that.
But not just that. The way it was written, even changed, it doesn't make what she's saying doesn't even add up. Why would they add that line? You know what I mean?
She's throwing the editor under the bus then. If
I were the editor, I'd be like, hell no.
I'd be like, you're fucking done. I'll tell you the truth. If somebody caused us that much outrage at a publication, right, publicly, and it was just like, and then it was lie upon lie and whatever, I'd be like, you know what? You're fucking done. You're just done.
Yeah, well, she goes on.
Of course she goes on. She can't stop talking. The line was a sentence saying I reached out to 2 YouTubers for comment.
But that's a lie.
Yeah, it was. The inclusion of the YouTubers was only in passing, saying another outlet's reporting.
Whoa! So you just bring up these 2 people and make the whole article about them, but you never reached out to them, and that was this accident that it was put in the story that you did because you got it from another article.
This is bullshit. After the story went live, I reached out to both YouTubers mentioned in the sentence just to be extra sure. There wasn't some sort of commentary they wanted to add. Neither provided a comment for the story, and both continued to post about me.
Yeah, because you're a twit.
That's it. Both continued to post about me. This is a revenge article. We saw this with Gamergate. We saw it with Comicsgate. This is revenge because you got called out by these YouTubers. You don't think it's fair that they made the amounts of money you think they made. So you're gonna use your position at this outlet to assert your dominance.
So wait, the whole article was about these 2 YouTubers and how much money they made.
Yes,
and how it was wrong. Isn't it even worse if she's telling the truth and she never reached out to them for comment? Isn't that somehow worse? I mean, if you're like a post, if you're like a publication like the Washington Post, isn't that? I mean, not like you're like a little blog. You're like a publication like the Washington Post. Isn't that somehow worse?
It's absolutely worse. She is a Tumblr author pretending to be a journalist, and it's bullshit, and she needs to be terminated.
The mention of these 2 individuals was not remotely the focus of my story, then why include them at all? It's become a huge distraction. I spoke to over 24 creators for my story about the trial, along with experts who were quoted in the piece.
We have a responsibility to recognize these bad faith campaigns for what they are with opinion, and when these sorts of things do and what they do not warrant acknowledgement.
Okay, well, so now she's trying to be like they're all bad faith. Taylor, your whole damn article was bad faith.
I'm extremely happy at the Washington Post. I chose to work here because it's a really incredible place filled with amazing, talented journalists and editors.
All of them in quotes.
Yep. Bad actors recognize the Washington Post's earnest desire to hear and incorporate feedback, and they exploit that. I know that the stuff I write about and go through is hugely unfamiliar to the vast majority of people in the media. I have a great hope.
Including yourself?
Yeah. I have great hope that all of us can learn from this experience.
Taylor's learned nothing.
She's learned nothing. I've worked as an editor. I would have fired her. I would have been like, you know what? You know the rules. You know the basic rules of journalism. And now you're lying, and you're going to cause us another lawsuit.
If it wasn't the feature part of her piece, why mention it at all? If she didn't actually talk to them, and she's basically saying, I got it from another source, why mention it at all?
So then, they put this note in there. They've been contacted. In fact, Legal Bites was asked via Instagram. What? I will say this again. I was not reached out to by Taylor Lorenz for the comment until after my tweet below. After. She reached out to me via Instagram DM after she did on Twitter. Both DMs were sent to me after I called her out. Please stop lying and take the L. Yeah, so basically they're lying to cover her ass. I think it's her editor, because they're probably both in trouble, because the publisher's probably like, what the fuck? Or editor-in-chief's probably like, what the fuck is going on?
So they're saying it's according to the Business Insider.
Okay.
So that she did credit the other source, the Business Insider, but still, like, she's using them as examples to prove her point. But she proved it. She didn't double check it, and she proved it incorrectly. And then, but she originally said that she talked to these people, reached out for comment, and they didn't answer her. Yeah. That's because she never asked to actually talk to them.
She never asked. Washington Post writer Taylor Lorenz is lying again about me. They said, yeah, he is in all Amber Heard, Johnny Depp channel. No, he's not. He's covered a lot of stuff. He just has been covering this a lot.
Recently, yeah.
For fuck's sake. I would have fired her. I would have been like, what the fuck is going on? This is the second time in like 2 months.
Well, let them keep doing that because they look really stupid. And I can tell you for a fact, I've talked to a lot of people, and most of them have nothing to do with, YouTube or any of that stuff. They just follow, what was going on themselves and all that. And they all vote different ways. They're all different types of people. They're male and female. They're white and not white, et cetera, et cetera. They all think that, the trial went as it should have. Depp should have won.
Yep.
I think that the media putting these hit pieces out are bullshit. I have heard so many comments, people, I don't care what the media says. They're liars. I don't believe them anymore. And that's what they're losing their shit over. I just love how it's not okay for a YouTuber to report on it, says the person who, works for the Washington Post, who does the exact same damn thing. Just that they aren't listening to they're listening to Umbrella Guy, and they're pissed about it.
Yeah. And this is going to continue. It doesn't matter. I mean, actually what happened was we had gaming journalists and pop culture journalists attacking YouTubers, and they actually blew those YouTubers' channels up. It doesn't work the way you think it's going to work. In fact, I know some of our biggest critics and potential doxers are salty ass journalists who think that we're taking their cookie, but it's like, no, you never had cookies. You never had the cookies. You worked for someplace else that had the cookies.
Yeah.
So this is going to continue. I think there's going to come a tipping point. We were talking about it yesterday, where I think what's going to happen is the market for news is going to self-correct. I mean, I think you're going to have strong voices on both sides of the aisle, but I think eventually the vast majority of news is going to go back to being more centrist, because it has to, because this current model is not sustainable. And I mean, here's the reality: is there are a lot of individuals out there covering news that have more views than the mainstream outlets. It's not going to get better for you. I guess my suggestion for you as a journalist is to pivot to video.
Yeah, but even then, it's like, people stop trying to gaslight the public.
Yeah.
They're, especially in this case, when they can see the evidence for themselves, it wasn't put through your personal rinse. So they are getting it straight up from the source. They don't need you to tell them what to think, because they already know what to think based on the evidence. So just stop. You are literally making it worse for yourself.
Stop it.
And kindly fuck off.
We're going to wrap it up.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm not sorry, Mom. Yes, we're going to wrap it up.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.